بسم الله. السيد رئيس الاتحاد الافريقي المنتخب، رئيس وزراء جمهورية اثيوبيا الاتحادية، السيد رئيس الاتحاد الافريقي المنصرف السيد فخامة رئيس جمهورية بنين، السيد الامين العام للأمم المتحدة السيد بان كيمون، فخامة السيد محمود عباس رئيس دولة فلسطين، السيدات والسادة أصحاب الفخامة وأصحاب المعالي وأصحاب السعادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اسمحوا لي أن أحيي دولة جمهورية أثيوبيا الاتحادية على كرم الضيافة وحسن الاستقبال، وأحيي السيد رئيس الاتحاد الافريقي المنصرف واشكره على حسن الاداره وسلامه ترتيب مجريات الامور في الاتحاد الافريقي خلال مده ولايته. ولا يفوتني ان احيي السيده زوما المفوضه الجديده للاتحاد الافريقي، متمنيا لها كل التوفيق والسداد في مهمتها. سيدات والسادة، آتي إليكم اليوم من ليبيا، ولعل ليبيا لها شأن في هذا المكان. آتي إليكم من ليبيا وقد انتصرت ثورتها، تحقق لها النصر واجتازت امتحان الديمقراطية، وحققت انتخاب المؤتمر الوطني العام، وتم تشكيل الحكومة، وبدأت مرحلة الانتقال من الثورة إلى الدولة. أيها السيدات والسادة، إن تنظيم انتخابات نزيهة في الظروف الصعبة التي تمر بها ليبيا دون استتباب أمن وبإعلان دستوري لا تتوفر له أسباب الكمال يعتبر من المعجزات التي وفقنا الله لها، وتحكي إرادة الشعوب عندما تريد أن تنتصر على متسلطيها وجباريها وتحقق رغم الصعاب الأمل الذي عاشت له ما يناهز نصف قرن من الزمان. فقد عانت ليبيا 42 سنة من حكم الاستبداد والتسلط، وعانت افريقيا معها من جراء ذلك النظام الذي عاث في افريقيا سفاهة وطيشا ونزقا وافسد الكثير. واليوم نأتي اليكم رغم انشغالنا بالشأن الداخلي وهمومنا الراهنة لنقول لكم اننا رغم هذه الانشغالات كانت افريقيا حاضرة في قلوبنا، واعيين بها في عقولنا. قد ظن الكثير ونحن قد انشغلنا بالثورة وانشغلنا بالشأن الداخلي بأننا أعطينا ظهورنا لإفريقيا، وذلك لم يكن صحيحا البتة. لم نعطي ظهورنا لإفريقيا، فإفريقيا حاضرة، نقول هذا هنا وأمامكم جميعا. فنحن من إفريقيا وبإفريقيا وإلى إفريقيا، وسنظل مع إفريقيا إلى أن نحقق كل الأمال التي نطمح إليها. إن ليبيا وهي عضو مؤسس في الاتحاد الإفريقي، عندما جاء سمو الأمير الحسن الرضا السنوسي ولي عهد المملكة الليبية وشارك في تأسيس منظمة الوحدة الإفريقية، وسأقتبس لكم من كلمته بعض الفقرات وهي كالآتي: أن ليبيا على قناعة أن الدول الإفريقية يجب أن يكون لها صوت، وأن توحد جهودها وطاقاتها لتعزيز العلاقات والتعاون والتفاهم بين كل الدول الإفريقية لكي تصل السفينة الإفريقية لشاطئ السلام. انتهى الاقتباس. هذا كان رأي ليبيا عندما كانت تسمى المملكة الليبية المتحدة، وهي الدولة الليبية الأصيلة التي تمثل إرادة الشعب الليبي. وما جاء بعد ذلك سنة 69 كله لم يكن يمثل الشعب الليبي. واليوم قد عادت العافية إلى ليبيا والسلامة. ستواصل ليبيا دورها المهم في قارتها الإفريقية. سنتعاون تعاون حقيقي مؤسس على الاحترام المتبادل، ومؤسس على الندية، ومؤسس على روح التفاهم الحضاري. إن ليبيا اليوم تأتي إليكم لتقول لكم إن ليبيا لم تعد ولن تعد دولة تثير المشاكل وتتدخل في الشؤون الداخلية وتثير ما كان يثيره النظام السابق. سنكون عنصر بناء إيجابي في سياسة إفريقيا وفي اقتصادها، متجهين إلى التنمية المستدامة، إلى التنمية المكانية، إلى التنمية التي تؤسس لعلاقة متينة ورصينة بين الشعوب وعبر الأجيال. أيها السيدات والسادة، إن إفريقيا اليوم وقد تجاوزت الكثير من المشاكل. رغم التحديات سيكون لها شأن بين العالم، وستكون ليبيا عنصر مهم مساهم فيه. لا أريد أن أطيل عليكم، أشكركم على هذه العجالة التي منحتموني إياها استثناء. عاشت إفريقيا حرة أبية متعاونة متضامنة متحدة، وعاش الاتحاد الإفريقي. أشكركم شكرا جزيلا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
I thank the Prime Minister for the kind words. The Secretary General will give us the list of the newly elected heads of state and government. In the meantime, I wish to recognize amongst us the newly elected President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, His Excellency Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud.
His Excellency Haile Mariam, Senior Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, newly elected chairperson of
mwenyekiti mpya wa Umoja wa Afrika, mheshimiwa mwenyekiti wa Umoja wa Afrika anayemaliza muda wake, mheshimiwa Ban Ki-moon, katibu mkuu wa Umoja wa Mataifa, mheshimiwa Dr. Dlamini Zuma, mwenyekiti wa kamisheni ya Umoja wa Afrika, mheshimiwa Abbas, rais wa Palestina, mabibi na mabwana. Kwanza kabisa napenda kutoa shukrani zangu kwa watu na serikali ya Ethiopia kwa ukarimu wao kwangu mimi na ujumbe wangu katika mji huu mkuu wa Addis Ababa. Ningependa pia kuwapongeza wote wale ambao wamefanya umoja huu uendelee kwa muda wa miaka 50, na kwa moyo kabisa mkunjufu napenda kuwashukuru wote kwa niaba ya Somalia kwa damu iliyomwagika na kutunga mkono ili kurejesha amani na utulivu. Tunakumbuka wanaume na wanawake wote ambao walipoteza maisha yao kwa ajili ya kuleta umoja, kwa ajili ya kuleta uhuru katika nchi yangu ya Afrika ya Somalia, na napenda kusema kwa sauti kubwa
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mesdames et messieurs, je confirme que la Somalie est ici aujourd'hui comme partenaire à part entière et en tant que père fondateur, pays fondateur de cette grande organisation. Il ne s'agit pas d'un mirage aujourd'hui, il s'agit d'un rêve. La Somalie, c'est une réalité et la Somalie est avec vous aujourd'hui pour célébrer ce moment historique, pour goûter le fruit.
This is among all of us to bring Somalia back into the international arena. Somalia has rejoined your community. I'm standing here in front of you as the elected president of the legitimate government of a sovereign nation, Somalia. Who would have thought even 1 year ago that this long dark period of our history would lead to the successful and peaceful establishment of the cornerstones of a new democracy, a parliament with an elected speaker of the house, an elected president, a lean, functioning and effective cabinet led by a prime minister. Somalia is no longer that part of the map that many wanted to forget forever. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still the untamed newborn member of this family, who is not always well behaved according to your expectations. We are the child who needs to learn how to walk. We are the brother who is poor and looks for your assistance. We are the sisters who is in need of all the attention and the protection of the parents and the elder siblings. But we are a nation again, the Federal Republic of Somalia. The way forward will be bumpy and challenging, and we will face many setbacks, but let me recall our achievements and outline our vision for the future. The six-pillar policy framework of my government bears witness to this endeavor. A high-level policy committee that we have established will see this vision through, for which I will remain personally accountable. Security remains the key challenge. Our joint campaign against extremism and piracy is not over. AMISOM must be strong and well equipped to carry on and free the remaining occupied territories with a strong, motivated Somali National Army and our other friendly forces inside Somalia. The remaining of the enemy must be eliminated and be pursued relentlessly to give peace to Somalia, to enable our forces to perform and ultimately take over the responsibility of securing our country. Adequate funding from both locally and internationally must be available. The UN arms embargo must be lifted to allow our forces to rise up to standard. We engage for better discipline, due diligence on human rights, and respect for international conventions. The security sector as a whole needs support, as recently stipulated by many continental and international platforms. Progress has been made in Mogadishu to better secure the city and move against the irregular forces. This success must be repeated throughout the country. Insecurity destroyed our country. Security must be rebuilt our nation. As for piracy, a significant progress has been made and the threat has been reduced through local engagement and a robust international effort. We thank you, but also appeal to our friends and partners to continue to invest the security forces of Somalia and the forces that have been contributed by Africa to stabilize Somalia. I remain concerned about the human security, access to service delivery, human rights, and basic amenities must be enshrined in all our life in Somalia. It's not only the IDPs and the refugees who are of concern, but all those who never left and who are seeking for protection, education, health, safe water, better livelihoods, and adequate shelter. Billions have been spent to save lives over the past 2 decades. The United Nations, the OIC, hundreds of international and local NGOs, and many friends have helped our people in taking incredible risks to save us from the disaster. Many humanitarians made the ultimate sacrifices for our people. Again, we can only say thank you. We need to move on and build our capacity to deal with our own affairs. Our institutions are weak or non-existent in many areas, but we need robust support and advice in setting up the necessary strength to bring genuine change to the individual households in Somalia. The level of abuse and violence amongst our people remain unacceptable. We must recover our dignity by reducing these abuses and violence. We must enforce our Somali Code of Conduct. We must restore a society which is based on human rights and is free from fear. Somalia remains fragile and is suffering from the effects of climate change as well. There has to be more investment into the institutions and the people if we want to stabilize and build upon the recent security successes. We have to invest into our youth, their education and skill to serve Somalia better in the decades to come. Ladies and gentlemen, let me devote few words on the issues of refugees and their return. We are committed to do our utmost to have our exiled communities return to their home, to their motherland, especially to their places of origin. We need our people home. However, as long as there are remaining pockets of insecurity in southern parts of Somalia and elsewhere, this will prove challenge. But we should all be confident that a voluntary and gradual return of the refugees will become a dream come true in the near future. Many are now already returning to Mogadishu and other cities in Somalia. The number of flights bringing returnees to Mogadishu and elsewhere has multiplied in recent months. The trickle will come a wave if we succeed. Project Somalia. I would like to say, dear neighbors, please be patient a little more, just a little longer. May I suggest that we establish a trilateral commissions involving host country, the UNHCR and my government to work together on a durable solutions for the return of the refugees. I would also like to invite the host countries and the United Nations to have a regional consultation on the issue of refugees later this year. Governance is crucial. We have succeeded in setting up the central governance structure, and this achievement is impressive in itself. But where is the governance our people need in the regions, the districts, and within their communities? Governance cannot be limited to the center, Mogadishu. Our people will continue to rebel and be tempted if the only authority there remains is the authority of the gun. Strong armed forces and security sector reform need to be complemented by a capable civilian administration in all levels of governance in Somalia. We need to train, educate, and equip them. The economy still is a gray, but the potential of my people to trade, to rebuild, and to invest, not the least because of our tragedy forcing them so many to exile, is enormous and needs to be tapped on. This potential needs to benefit our nation, not only the individuals. I'm engaging to rebuild the systems and the structures which ensure full accountability, allow for a solid revenue collection system and an effective central bank. We need an environment which allows the private sector to thrive. We will need a support from the international development banks and the financial sectors. Discussions to this effect are underway. We need foreign direct investment to partner with our business community, and here I call on African entrepreneurs to become more active in Somalia. We need you. Our livestock, our agricultural sector, our mineral resources are all, and also our human capital, provide ample opportunities for this continent and the world at large. Investment in the manufacturing of leather, energy, garments, sector, etc. are enormous potentialities in Somalia right now. In the fight against corruption, I engage my government to go beyond its best. Stern action will be taken and anti-corruption measures will be enforced in Somalia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude in reiterating my strong desire for a close partnership and cooperation with the international community and particularly with our African neighboring countries. I have held excellent consultations during my recent visit to Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and Sudan. As you know, I have also visited Turkey and most recently the United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who are all standing strong beside Somalia. The warmth and the welcome received during all my visits has been encouraging and give us hope. Many concrete proposals for future cooperation have been agreed upon. I wish to invite all who have not done so to re-establish their diplomatic missions in our capital, Mogadishu. All support and security will be provided. We need your presence in Mogadishu. We need your cooperation at this particular time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for opening your arms to my country, our nation, our people, our Somalia, to all international platforms for the last 2 decades. I thank you.
I would like to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Somalia for expressing the situation in Somalia and the way forward. Excellencies, the next program will be presentation of honorary awards for the former chairperson and other members of the African Union Commission for their outstanding services to Africa. I request the Master of Ceremonies to take us through the process of granting of the awards.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Without further ado, I'd like to invite them all to the podium. Let me announce that Dr. Jean Ping is apologizing for not being here. He has other commitments and he will be here in next May. Let me invite Madame Julia Denis Jenner, former Commissioner in charge of political affairs.
Ancienne commissaire chargée des affaires sociales, Son Excellence Dr Maxwell Mkwezalamba, ancien commissaire chargé des affaires économiques, Son Excellence Prof Jean-Pierre Onveou Nézin, ancien commissaire chargé des ressources humaines, sciences et technologies. Nous avons enregistré l'année dernière le décès de l'une de nos commissaires, notamment Feu Tanque Elisabeth. Alors, son fils va récupérer la médaille à sa place. Il s'agit de Tanque Jean-Paul, que j'invite également ici. Et ces décorations seront remises par le président de l'Union, accompagné de la présidente de la Commission de l'Union africaine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Je vais inviter son Excellence.
الآن أدعو سعادة السيدة جولي جوينر لتلقي كلمة باسم
Format.
Your Excellency, Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Secretary General of the United Nations, President of the PLO, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Honorable Ministers, members of the Executive Council, Ambassadors, members of the Permanent Representatives Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with much humility and great pride that I take the floor on behalf of the former members of the African Union Commission to convey a word of thanks to this August Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union on the occasion of the conferment of honorary awards in recognition of services rendered to the organization. We do so in full cognizance that some of us took our oath of office in 2003 at the establishment of the African Union Commission. And in this context, we remember with much affection our departed colleague, Madame Elizabeth Tanke, former Commissioner for Trade and Industry. It was indeed an honor and a privilege to have been given the rare opportunity to serve our premier continental organization in such exalted positions. We express our sincere gratitude to Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, for the trust and confidence bestowed on us as we strove to advance the aims and objectives of the African Union. We would like to seize this opportunity to acknowledge the guidance and support that we received over the years from Your Excellencies, without which our efforts would not have borne fruit. It behoves us at this juncture, Your Excellencies, to also acknowledge the support that the members of the Executive Council, our various sectoral ministers and national institutions, the Permanent Representatives Committee, and the AU organs accorded to us during our term of office. The contributions of the regional economic communities, the building blocks of the African Union, the partner community, and various other stakeholders, including members of the civil society, the women and youth, had been tremendous, and we also express much gratification for this. To our colleagues at the Commission, the staff of the African Union Commission, and members of our families, we say a big thank you for being constantly by our side as we journeyed this challenging but equally satisfying road. In accepting these awards, we pledge to continue to serve as worthy ambassadors of the African Union in promoting, through our various endeavors, the ideals for continental unity and integration in the spirit of Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance. Thank you very much once again. Merci, obrigada, shukran for the honor bestowed on us as we wish the 20th session of the Assembly of the African Union a successful outcome. Thank you.
I thank you and congratulate the commissioners for your excellent jobs done in the African Union service. Thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the next program will be the signing of AU treaties by heads of state and government. In this regard, I wish to inform you that the Commission has made the necessary arrangements for the signing of the treaties throughout this session. I have to proceed.
No, it's just the lunch. I don't know they want to do it now.
Can we make it in the afternoon?
Yeah. No, it should be the photo. The plaque and the photo.
Since our last lunchtime is approaching, we decided that the rest of the programs will continue in the afternoon, and so I would like to ask the heads of state and government, excellencies, to have a group photograph. And now I invite all of us to this forum and request the protocol to usher the heads of state and government and other dignitaries to the area.
Donc, les chefs d'État, nous allons les ramener en salle d'attente et nous les... Je dis bien les chefs d'État uniquement en salle d'attente. De là-bas, nous les conduirons au lieu dit. Vous avez également un déjeuner offert par le FNUAP et certains chefs d'État, Karma. Après la séance de photos, il y a le déjeuner Karma dans la salle multipurpose ici. Session at 4 p.m.
still going to the right. That exit where you are, we're going to go right out that exit.